morning, journey friends. It's Andrea, just checking in with you guys. I am coming off of a not great weekend, and the reason why I say that, it was good because I did get to see our foster daughter who had lived with us for almost a year and a half. She was moved somewhere else about 3 months ago, and this was our first time being able to see her face to face. And that definitely brought up a lot of emotions for me. I know she watches my videos, so I'll give you a little shout out. Hey honey, how are you? So anyways, we went and saw her on Saturday, and it was a really good visit. We had a lot of fun. We played games together. I mean, obviously, like being able to hug her after not being able to hug her for a while was really special. You know, we took down some Christmas presents for her, belated Christmas presents. She also had presents for us, which I know that she has just been really putting a lot of thought and effort into. She's been using her own money to save up and get gifts to give to us. So it was a really special time for us. However, you know, I really felt like on Saturday I was okay. I was really enjoying spending the time with her. You know, we played some apples to apples and all this good kind of stuff. And on that particular day, like, I didn't really feel any sort of bad emotions coming up necessarily. You know, there was one point where, you know, she was saying, you know, that she felt, because I asked her if she was missing all the ruckus from our house, since it's usually very loud and lots of things going on. And her response was, you know, I guess kind of, because where she lives at now is kind of lonely. So I know that did make me feel a little sad. You know, I definitely don't want her to be feeling lonely. And so I did realize that, like, I was making choices too on Saturday, which maybe this should have been my first hint. That I was very conscious that I actually was not very hungry. But I was making the conscious decision to go ahead and eat anyways, past my +2, especially when we were leaving. We left her house and we had gone to a Greek-Italian restaurant, and we were going to have some dinner before we got back on the road. It was about an hour and a half drive down there, and so we had an hour and a half drive back. And I was not necessarily I was not hungry, really. But I just kind of remembered, you know, a little bit of that old mindset, that, oh, I'm going to be hungry now, though, or I'm going to be hungry later, if I don't eat now. We've got an hour and a half drive, and, you know, that's just going to be miserable or whatever. So I chose to eat. I did share like a sampler platter with my husband, so I will give myself a little bit of kudos for that, because it wasn't a full-on meal. And we did pick the Greek sampler platter, so I felt like it was relatively healthy, like some stuffed grape leaves, a little bit of gyro meat. There were grilled vegetables on there, and different things like that. So I thought that was okay. At the end though, when you're at a Greek place, I mean, I feel like you have to get a thing of baklava, or at least that's what I told myself. So, and that was a little bit of old Andrea creeping in. I like those sweets, to kind of distract from how I might be feeling. So I definitely had some baklava, but I shared it with everyone at the table. So, I felt like, again, that was a good thing. I didn't put myself just, you know, face down in some baklava only for me. I did share that, so that was good. Then come along Sunday, yesterday, and I woke up and I was just irritable. Like, don't even talk to me. I was just irritable. Ended up getting in a fight with my husband. I felt like we were pretty much fighting all day. and I think it's just because I was emotionally in a bad place. Mother Nature is also visiting me right now. So, that doesn't make anything easier. So I think if I had to do yesterday over, I think I really needed to spend a morning in the quiet, journaling, trying to explore my feelings, figure out how I was feeling about all of that. Because instead I started fighting with my husband, and then, I'll show him I'm going to eat all the good things in the house, all the sweet things or whatever. I don't know. I was also just trying to distract myself from my feelings, eating my emotions, which is never a good thing. And so I felt like this was just like a snowball, right? Like I was just going down the hill. So then I started getting some of those negative thoughts about myself, about how like, well, you're really making some conscious decisions right now to really mess your journey up. Like, way to go, Andrea. We're not going anywhere we want to be going by doing these things. So I just broke out the shame shawl. I, put that on nice and snug around me. Ate a bunch of sweet things, then decided to take a nap with my 3-year-old because I just wanted to kind of check out of life for a little bit. So, and I was tired, or at least I thought I was tired. I was giving myself the excuse I was tired. I was supposed to do a long run of 7 miles yesterday. Did not even happen. I did not even do my 11,000 steps, which was also something that I had some dialogues going on in my head about how I'm just a horrible person. 11,000 is basically the minimum that you have to do, and you're not even halfway there, and all of that stuff. So, and then I had a couple beers at the end of the night. I don't know. It was just a mess. But this morning, I did do some journaling, and I really did try to dive into kind of how I was thinking. Most importantly, though, I started remembering this article that I had read in preparation for 2020, and it was basically on how to do a review of 2019 to then set your goals and such for 2020. And one of the great things that it said was to come at it like you are in, an end of the year job appraisal with your boss, right? Like you are your boss and you're reviewing your work for, the last year. And it's really important that you only give yourself 25% feedback on what could have been done better. And that 75% of that feedback should be what you did well. And this really did resonate with me this morning because I was thinking yesterday was 100% failure. Like I said, that shame shawl was wrapped around my shoulders tightly. I was pretty much considering myself an absolute, failure for yesterday. Being really hard on myself and not really giving myself any grace for the kind of feelings and emotions that were all tied up into yesterday. So this morning, after kind of thinking about that, I said, you know what? I need to get back to what has really motivated me in the past and got me in a good headspace. And that's honestly to focus on where I'm winning. I don't think that if anybody went into their boss's office and had them just tear them down on everything they were doing wrong and what a mess up you are at work, I don't think anyone would come out of that meeting being like, yeah, but I'm gonna do this now. Like, I'm gonna be star employee, blah, 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 blah. No, you kind of get beaten down into this, like, why should I even try? Like, obviously I'm not doing anything right. Honestly, I think all of us would just go and find another job, right? Unfortunately, I am me. And if I am beating myself up, telling myself everything that I'm doing wrong, like, what other job am I going to go get? I can't go be, Sarah down the street or, Jenny up the block or whatever. Like, I have to continue to be myself. So I think that it's really important that I can't just sit there and beat myself up and expect things to change, like that's just not how it happens. So I really did focus. I found small things yesterday that, I thought were good decisions. And so some of that was, I didn't eat breakfast because I wasn't hungry for it. I waited until my mid-morning snack when I was hungry and had my smoothie, so I thought that was fine. Honestly, I'm not even sure I found that many others. So, so then I had to dig deep just on my journey up until this point and what I've been winning at. So that is something that I went over this morning in a journaling exercise, and there has been a lot of stuff that I have really succeeded at. I mean, I've lost more than 20 pounds. My notes are on the floor, hold on. I've increased my overall activity. I'm averaging, more than 10,000 steps a day, which is a huge win for me, especially with the amount of telework that I do. I was sitting on my butt a lot. So I think that that's really good. I've started running again. I've created my, Facebook page, my Instagram, my YouTube. That's all, documenting this process, this journey. And that really motivates me. I feel like I'm really meeting some really incredible women out there who are going through the same thing. And I love that. I enjoy it. It's really motivating to me. With the past weigh-in for at the beginning of January for the results of December, even though the scale isn't always moving on a day-to-day basis in the direction I want it to, overall it is going down, and I think that that's great, as well as I've lost a lot of inches. Like, things are tightening up and all of that. And so I'm really, really, really trying to focus on these wins, because that's what's going to give me momentum to make the next best decision. So anyways, I just really wanted to come on here and share that with you guys. If you are, struggling, I know we're like a week in and to the new year, and sometimes we, get ignited with all that excitement and, anticipation of the new year, and sometimes that can burn out really quickly, especially if we aren't working on maybe the things that we should. For instance, in this weight loss journey, a lot of it's mindset, a lot of it's mind work. Like, you really have to change the way that you're thinking about things, building yourself up, giving yourself credit, and giving yourself grace, so that when you do mess things up, it's not the end of the world. We're going to pick up and we're going to keep going on this journey. So anyways, I really hope that this message may have helped you guys on your way. If not, give me a little hope and leave me a comment down below. I love, like I said, connecting with you guys so much. And if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out there, go ahead and give this video a like and hit the subscribe and hit that bell for all the notifications. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. Until next time.